me show you this card. This card is Faceless Summoner. It is a common mage minion. 6 cost, 5/5, no tribe, battle cry. Summon a random 3 cost minion. Let's talk about just the implications for the new standard format that this guy brings. And let's do it from a mathematical perspective. I took the time in the past hour or so and went through the stat line of every standard legal 3-drop that you can possibly summon from Faceless Summoner. What we find here is that the base stat line amongst all standard legal 3-drops is 2.6 attack and 3.03 health. So what we're basically saying is by playing Faceless Summoner for 6, you get somewhere around 8/8 worth of stats spread out over 2 bodies, which by itself, without any effect from the other minion, is so obnoxiously good just as a baseline standard. It's ridiculous just on its own. But when we really dig down into the math, into the rest of the math, we find why it's truly just a broken card, I think personally. Especially for decks like Tempo Mage, where they want something like this. And maybe not on turn 6, but certainly on turn 8, where you can do something like Frostbolt and then play 8/8 worth of stats. Or more. Let's not forget, or more. So, you look in here, we have a 37% chance of an outright positive effect. And what that means by outright positive effect is something like Stealth, Charge, Divine Shield, something that has no chance of negatively affecting your board state, your health, anything negative for you. So 37% chance that it's going to be good for you no matter what. Slightly positive effect is 25, around 25%. By slightly, I mean situationally positive. Situationally positive is things like, let's say you have some kind of mech synergy. So you have a possibility of summoning mechs with this card. That would be situationally positive. Beast synergy would also be situationally positive. And then there's situationally negative, which is very, very, very low. Situationally negative are only 2 cards, and they are specifically Coliseum Manager and Dreadscale. Those are the only 2 cards where it's situationally negative to have that card. Okay? Absolutely no effect on the card. It's just a vanilla creature. 38.36% chance. Outright negative effect, 0% chance. 0% chance that it will ever negatively affect your board to play this. Outside of Unleash the Hounds synergy on the other end. 4% chance that you're going to get a mech, 1% chance to get 1.37% chance to get a pirate or a demon. 10, almost 10% chance that you're gonna get a beast. Now that's not typically gonna matter a whole lot in Mage, but if you get like a kill command out of a Spellslinger, then it can matter. Now that's definitely an edge case scenario, but still it's situationally positive. Another situationally positive card would be, say, Brand, but we'll get to Brand in a little bit. So, what are the potential positive effects that you can get out of a minion summoned from Faceless Summoner? Well, card draw is probably the single best effect in any trading card, collectible card game. And you have very slight chance to get potential card draw off of a minion summoned by Faceless Summoner. It's only around 3%. but a potential buff to that minion, say something like a Raging Worgen, you have a 15% chance that that minion will grant buff to itself or grant buffs all around to the rest of your minions. Spell damage is only one, and that's Dollar and Mage. Just one chance to get that. By the way, if you're looking for any specific card, 1.37% chance that you'll find that specific card you need, which goes into miscellaneous effects. Stuff that is not typically an evergreen effect, something like Unbound Elemental, Shadow Fiend, Bran, Alarabot, Flamewaker, Demolisher. Those things are not really evergreen effects so much. They're not spell damage. You're not going to overload a whole lot as a mage. You're almost never going to overload, but again, situational. And Bran is, I'd lump him in with situationally positive. Wind Fury, 4% chance. Taunt, 7% chance that you're going to get a taunt minion. Inspire, 4%. Charge, 4%. Divine Shield, 4%. Stealth, 3. A Death Rattle minion, 3. Now, that is overwhelmingly helpful. Almost no matter what. The very, 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 very worst thing that could possibly happen to you when you cast Faceless Summoner is the whole rest of your board. You've got a big board. You're already winning the game, and somehow all of your minions only have 1 health left, and you summon a Dread Scale. And you wipe out your board. But you're so far ahead already that it just doesn't matter. Almost always it will never matter. This is not... You do not have the potential downsides of, say, a Shredder in this card, where you can summon a Lorewalker Cho, or a Doomsayer, something that is going to wreck your board state. Nat Pagal, something that could potentially wreck your whole plans. It's almost only ever going to be positive for you. And I think this card is dangerous. Because here's the thing. With Piloted Shredder, and I'm going to compare this to Piloted Shredder a lot, even though it is different. It is different to have a super sticky minion that you almost are negated to dealing with over the course of 2 turns. This is not exactly Piloted Shredder, but there are a lot of similarities here, especially in the realm of it being such a swing that it's unfair. It feels unfair when your opponent gets a Millhouse Mana Storm out of Piloted Shredder. It feels unfair when they get a something around the stats of like 3/3 to 4/4 to 4/3. A Succubus is another one. It feels unfair when your opponent gets a bigger minion than they originally invested. And it's not possible to get a bigger minion. The biggest minion you can possibly get off Faceless Summoner. And this, by the way, is just the math of just cards currently in the game. I have none of this adds in math for Whispers of the Old Gods cards. This is just currently what's in the game and what is going to be standard legal, what we have to work with right now. There is not currently a minion at 3 cost that is bigger than a 5/5. But there is a 5/5. There's King Mukla. And there is Injured Blade Master, which will get you a 4/7. So you have a 1.37% chance of either getting 2 5/5s or a 5/5 and a 4/7. But even if that's just the edge case, the non-edge cases are around 8/8 worth of stats. I think this card is I think this card is ridiculous. I think this card is completely busted. At common, this card makes Mage so incredibly powerful in the arena, it's not even funny. Like, in the arena, this kind of tempo swing, I mean, at 5 mana, you have a neutral common that is a 4/4 guaranteed to summon a 2/2. And that's considered a very good arena card. This is one more cost. Bump that up with the potential of it being an 8/8 or more. A very good potential of it being an 8/8. And mages are already dominant in the arena. I seem mad, and I'm not exactly mad. I'm astounded. I'm astounded at how broken this card is at common for Mage, a class that doesn't really need it. I mean, this is a tempo Mage wet dream. This is insane. I don't really have any more else to say about this card, to be totally honest. There's the math for you. There's more math to look in on this, for sure. But those are the baseline stats for Faceless Summoner. An absolutely ridiculous card.